The perfect solution to a cheap synthetic wig is to just make your own beanie. For this project, you're going to need some yarn. I'm using the Lion Brand's Pound of Love. You're also going to need some scissors, a hook, a sewing needle, and some measuring tape. You will also need a pom-pom that you can either buy or make with your own yarn. To start off this project, you're going to create foundation half double crochet, and to start that, you wrap the yarn around your 2 fingers, grab your hook, and you pull the yarn through the loop. You tighten it, not too much, but still tight enough. And you wrap the yarn around the hook, hold on to this area, pull it through, you yarn over again, you go through the hole, yarn over, pull through the hole. After you go through the hole, you should have 3 loops on your hook. So now you yarn over again and you go through the first loop only, and you will still have 3 loops on the hook. So you yarn over again and you go through all 3. So again, you yarn over, you go through the bottom, you yarn over and pull through, you have 3. You yarn over, you go through the first one only, and then you yarn over again and go through all 3. So you yarn over, go through the bottom, you yarn over and pull through, you yarn over and pull through 1, you yarn over and pull through all 3. Again, yarn over, go to the bottom, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, go through 1, yarn over, go through all 3, yarn over, go through the bottom, yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through 1, yarn over, go through all 3. And you just continue doing this. So I crocheted this to about 6 inches. And the reason why I crocheted it to 6 inches is so that way I can fold this part up, and this will act as the base of the beanie. When you're done crocheting it to your desired length, you yarn over and you pull through. This is your turning chain, and then you turn your work over, and then you do half double crochets on this row. So for this pattern, you'll be using the ribbing stitch. So for the ribbing stitch, instead of going through the hole completely, when you do that, you have 2 on the top. You will only be going through the back loop. So as you can see here, here's 1, and then here's 2. 1, 2, you will be going through the back loops only. So you do your half double crochet, you yarn over, you go through the back loop only, you grab the yarn, pull through, loop over, yarn over, and then go through. Again, you yarn over, go through the back loop only, you go through it, you yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through once again, you yarn over, go through the back loop, yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through all three, yarn over, go to the back loop, you just continue doing this throughout the whole entire row. Get to your last stitch, you just yarn over, go through the loop once, that's your turning chain, and then you turn your work and you do the same steps. So you will yarn over, and again you will go through the back loops only, and for every single row you go through the back loops, so that way it creates the ribbing effect. And then once again at the final stitch, you just yarn over and loop through for your turning chain, and then you turn, and you just continue doing half double crochets in the back stitch. If you're having trouble finding the back of your stitch, just go straight down into the stitch, go backwards, you yarn over, pull through, and go through. So instead of having to go in front and then go through, just go straight down into the stitch from the top, go straight down, go backwards, and then grab your yarn and complete the half double crochet. So I crocheted to about 18 inches, but then when I stretch it out, it goes to 22 inches. And the circumference of the head I am doing is 21.5 inches. So 22 inches is perfect because it's only half an inch longer than I need it to be, which allows room for stretch. So this is how that part should be. It's the ribbing effect. The ribbing effect allows the stitches to be more stretchy, so that way it's not as tight, and since this goes around the head, you don't want it to be squeezing the head. You want to crochet this piece until it reaches the circumference of the head you are making this for. Now that I am all done with my base, I'm going to go ahead and chain one, and then I'm going to connect the two sides of the base together. I'm going to stitch together the stitches on each side with its corresponding stitch. So what I mean by that, I'm going to stitch this stitch one on this side to stitch one on this side, and I'm going to do single crochets. So instead of yarning over, you just go straight into the hole, and for this you do want both of them in there, and then you go straight into the other hole of the corresponding stitch. Then you grab the yarn, pull it through both. Now you have 2 loops on your hook, and then you yarn over and then pull through both, and that is your single crochets. So we're going to do the same for the second stitch, and it's going to go with its corresponding second stitch, and you just make a single crochet, and you do the same for each of the stitches. Get to the last stitch, you just want to yarn over and pull through, and then turn your work like this. You want to keep the string from your slip knot over here on this side, so that way when you are crocheting it is just tucked away. So basically the stitch that we're going to do is similar to a half double crochet, but it's not a half double crochet. I'm not sure if there's a name for it, but you're basically gonna do one stitch in every single row. So this would be counted as a row, this is a row, this is a row, this is a row, this is a row. So if you can see it better like that, row, 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 row. So you're gonna do one stitch on each row. So the stitch that we will do, you yarn over and you go into that row, you yarn over the hook and pull through. And instead of immediately going through the 3 loops, you yarn over again, go through it, yarn over and pull through, and then you should have 5 loops on your hook, and then now is when you yarn over and pull through all the loops. So again, yarn over, go through the row, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, go through the hole, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 5 loops, yarn over and go through all 5. Yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through all 5 loops, yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, then you yarn over again and go through all 5. So yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, go through all 5. And you just do that for every row, is 1 stitch on top of it. And when you get close to the end, you should be able to see your starting point of the row. And if it's difficult for you to know where you started, you can just always feel for this point, which is where you sewed the 2 ends of the beanie together. So when you get to your last stitch, you want to connect the 2 sides together. You go through the hole of the first stitch, go through it, you yarn over and pull through, and then you immediately pull through this part. For this stitch, I like the stitches to be directly on top of each other. So what I like to do yarn over and you go through the middle of the stitch beneath it. Instead of going through the hole, you go straight into the middle of the stitch, yarn over, pull through, you yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, just like in the previous row. So you should have 5 loops now. So you just yarn over and pull through, and these stitches are directly on top of each other. So yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, have 5 loops again. You yarn over and go through all of them, and they are directly on top of each other, basically connected. So you yarn over, go straight to the middle, yarn over, go through, then yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through all 5, yarn over, go straight to the middle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through.
Now we will decrease, but we will only decrease once per row.
To decrease with this stitch, you yarn over, go through, pull through, yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through. And instead of going through all 5, you're going to continue doing this, except you're going to do it to the following stitch. So yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through. So you yarn over, you go through all of them. And that is how you will decrease for this stitch. And then you will just continue as normal. So yarn over, go straight down the middle, yarn over, go through, yarn over, straight down the middle, yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through.
So when it comes to decreasing, I'm not going to decrease on the same spot in every row. So the next row, I'm not going to decrease on this side of the beanie. Instead, I'm going to decrease on the other side. And then for each other row, I'm just going to alternate where I decrease. Just that way I can keep the beanie even. I don't want all the decreases to be on the same spot, because then it would look weird.
When you get to the end again, you will know, mainly because of the bump right here, or because you'll be able to tell that this stitch has 2. Meanwhile, these 2 just have 1. So then when you're done with the last stitch, you just do what you did in the previous row. You go through the first stitch of that row, yarn over, and you go straight to that next loop. So again, You just go through the first stitch, you bring the yarn over, and you just go straight through it by going through the middle of this stitch. And then when you get to the part where you decreased, it will be noticeable because it will look like they're joined together as opposed to being apart like these ones. So for this, you just proceed as normal. You yarn over, go through the middle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through the middle, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over all of them. And so that is how you will do with the decrease, and then you'll then continue as normal. So again, for the decrease, you just yarn over, go through the middle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, go through the middle again, pull through, and then you go straight to the next stitch, yarn over, go through the middle, yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through the middle, yarn over, go through, yarn over again, and go through all of them. And then for the next stitch is return to normal. So yarn over, go through the middle, yarn over, go through, yarn over, go through the middle, yarn over, pull through, go through. Another way to tell that you're at the end of the row is there will be this tiny bump that's not really noticeable unless you like really look at it. This is the bump right here, so this is the starting stitch for this row and this is the last stitch for this row. So then you just connect the two, and then you just continue to do the same stitch into the first stitch.
So for this row, I will be decreasing just by one, and then for every other row, I'm gonna continue decreasing just by one.
And then again with the decrease, yarn over, go down the middle, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, go again, yarn over, pull through, go straight into the next one by yarning over, going through it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through it again, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through all the loops on the hook, and then just continue as regular.
So the step for each row is exactly the same. You just continue with the same stitch and you decrease once per row. So I made the base 6 inches, that way when I fold it, it is 3 inches. So that means that I want this part that I'm currently working on to be a total of 5 inches. So that way the whole beanie is 11 inches, but when it's folded it is 8 inches, which is the size that you want it to be for a female adult size. And I will put the sizing measurements for different sizes that you will need up here.
So I have now made it to the 11 inches that I wanted. And what I've been meaning by even is that the curve is nice and round. When I first started watching tutorials on how to do beanies, my beanies would always be all lopsided and weird. So that's why I now only decrease with like 1 or 2 decreases per row. So now I'm just gonna cut off a long piece of yarn. You then want to pull the yarn through the loop and just finish it off by tightening it. After that, you want to turn your beanie inside out. Then thread the needle and the hole at the top you want to start sewing together. Then after that, put the needle through the top, pull the needle all the way out, and turn the work back normally. And then you want to grab your PomPom. If you want to learn how to make your own PomPom, I will leave the link to the video in the description box. But now you want to make sure it's tight. Then you start sewing through the PomPom. And then you sew back into the beanie, and you do this for several times until it is secure. it's all secure, I'm going to keep the thread on the inside and then pull it inside out. And then you want to just secure your thread in place. So what I mean by that is you basically just go through a few stitches. And then you basically go through those same stitches, except you don't go through the stitch that you came out of. You probably want to go through the one in front or behind it. And then I like to do a stitch that's nearby. So around the stitch next to it, I'll do this. So that I may put the needle through the hole and pull through, so it creates a knot. And then I just like to thread the rest of the yarn around the hat. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel. And if you don't already, please follow me on my Instagram at miel.rosas.crochet. If you happen to recreate this beanie, I would love to see it, so please tag me on Instagram. Again, thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate it so much. Mil gracias. Have a great day.